Welcome to the Writing with Purpose podcast, where I, Anna Williscroft, chat with fellow writers and outdoor enthusiasts about how we can embrace creativity and curiosity to live a life full of adventure that doesn't feel like hard work. I delve into exploratory conversations about my two loves in life, writing and nature connection, as part of my mission to share the wellbeing benefits they both bring. It's wonderful to have you here today. Hello and welcome to my third episode in these solo chats, where I talk to you about the loves of my life, which are writing and nature and also creativity. So happy new year to you. It's been a few days since the new year. We are now in 2024. How are you? How were your celebrations? What is the first big achievement that you've already bagged in 2024, or what is on your list to achieve in 2024? I would love to know. Please do share with me. And right, so for today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you about more insightful conversations, tips, resources to do with writing, nature and creativity. So first of all, what is your word for 2024? How are you starting this year? What is it that you are setting the intention for, laying out in front of you? How are you going to show up in this year? So I'm not sure if you're aware, but apparently the Oxford word of the year for 2013 was Riz, which is RIZZ, and apparently this is defined as a viral term which is short for charisma, as in someone's ability to attract another person through style, charm or attractiveness. And the term can also be used as a verb in a phrase such as riz up, which means to chat up or to attract, chat up, seduce. I'd not heard of this before. I'd seen various things pop up online when I was doing research or reviewing various things that suggested a word for 2023. And apparently, it's not on this article I've got up in front of me at the moment, but I'm sure that I read somewhere that the Spider-Man, I can't even think of his name now, the young guy that plays Spider-Man in the latest movies, he must have made this word go viral apparently during some interview. So anyway, check that out and use that for inspiration if you choose to, if it feels right for you, and come up with a word for 2024. I actually haven't come up with a word. I should have come up with a word before I started recording this podcast, but hey, that's recording a podcast without making too many notes for you. I shall have a think and maybe add something in the show notes, or even follow up on the next episode with my word for 2024. It's got to be something around curiosity or embracing all things new, which actually isn't a word, is it? That's 3 words. Anyway, moving on. So what I want to share with you on this podcast is really all about taking time to consider what truly matters. So what is meaningful and purposeful in your life right now, or what do you want it to be in the very near future? And let's have a think about the steps that we need to take in order to bring more of what we want and enjoy in life. Because let's face it, when we're having fun, when we're enjoying the things that we do, life can be pretty transformative. And if we really do take the steps to kind of outline what isn't working well for us and ways that we can eliminate that from our daily life, life is a hell of a lot better, as they say. So yes, we all have values, and those things that we sort of live by, the things that mean things to us. And if you're unsure of what your values are, have a think about it in the opposite approach. So anything that might irritate you, anything that might sort of trigger you in some way, challenge you, situations where you might feel frustration or slight anger, maybe even disappointment, and that might be with an incident. It might be something that you hear on the television, on the radio. It might even be something that a friend or a loved one says to you. If that happens, pay attention to it, because that's generally having a little bit of a pull on something that you value, and the anger or the frustration or the disappointment that you feel towards that is because it's challenging something that you value. So it's important to kind of not just push these feelings away, but to think, okay, why am I feeling that way? What has just happened? Because you can gain insight from that, you can learn from that, and then you can explore in your own time or with other people how to get over these sort of challenging situations, trigger points, to develop stronger values, and also to pay attention to your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and move forward with the things that you enjoy and are meaningful to you. So I invite you, I mean, and this isn't a straightforward exercise actually, when you're trying to decide on the values that you have. It might take a couple of hours. So I encourage you to find a quiet place, a soulful space that you can relax in, you can get comfy, and you may or may not want to listen to some music, maybe start off with a meditation. There are various things that can help you just to relax and become more mindful in the moment. But definitely take 1 or 2 hours, set that time aside. Try your hardest to be in a place where you're not going to be interrupted, so that you can just, really get stuck into this and gain some value out of it. Because the more that you sort of define these things, the more you'll be able to move forward and help use these things to help you gain more out of life. So I recommend that you work to developing 3 to 6 core values, and these values will define you as a person. And these are the journaling prompts that I encourage you to use. So number 1, identify 3 values that are most important to you in your personal life. Now, these might be people, these might be activities, environments, anything that's you sort of is a bit of a, okay, these have to be in my life. And it could be attributes and things like integrity, honesty. All of these things can form the values that you live by. Number 2, identify 3 values that are most important to you in your professional life. And again, these might be work situations, they might be projects that you work on, it might be how you interact with customers, work colleagues, suppliers. What makes a good day for you, and free write around these things and see what you can come up with. Number 3, what challenges cause you, I'll say that again. What situations cause you to react negatively? And do these situations challenge something that you value? So that comes back to what I was saying before about thinking about these situations that are they niggle at you in some way. They cause you to feel frustrated or angry or sad or disappointed. These are the challenging situations. These are the negative situations, and there's a reason why they cause you to react in that way. So explore your thoughts in more detail by asking why. Why do these situations challenge you? Why do they cause you to react negatively? And number 4, how do these values influence the choices that you make? So the values that you are starting to identify, how do they influence how you behave with others, how you act in your own company, the decisions that you make? And as I say, this isn't something that you can come up with in 10 minutes or so. So take the time to answer the questions, allow some free writing, just keep writing whatever comes into your mind first. There's no right or wrong. And then spend some time reflecting, organising your thoughts, and coming up with these values. And I would love to know what you come up with. If you feel like sharing, please do click the Linktree link in the show notes, connect with me on your preferred platform. I would love to have a chat with you about this even further. Okay, so moving on to nature and our connectedness with nature. Now, I'm going to continue with the Derbyshire University's research and the 5 Pathways to Nature Connectedness document that hopefully you will have clicked and read more about if you've listened to the past couple of episodes. And today, I just want to share a little bit more information with you about their second element, which is beauty. Now, people laugh at me because I do a lot of walking, I do a lot of running, I do a lot of hiking. I love being outdoors, but when I'm in a group and I have a couple of hiking holidays each year with some friends, I am always the one at the end. I'm always the one that the group has to wait for to catch up with, and that's because wherever I go, I spot things grab my attention. I get curious about the colour of a flower, the shape of the petal, the texture of it, the smell of it, the environment that it's in, what it's next to. You know, there's always something that catches my attention that I feel drawn to, and I really do spot the beauty that's around me all the time. I may have started to make a conscious effort of doing this a couple of years ago, and now it just seems to come naturally to me. And it's one of those things that really does allow you to become more connected to nature. So I encourage it, no matter where you are, where you go. Open your eyes, open your ears, open your nostrils, and just have a look, have a smell, have a listen, and spot the beauty all around you. And I must admit, by doing this, it's encouraged me to slow down. So when I go for a walk, particularly if I go running on my own, I don't very often walk on my own, but if I go running on my own, I run at a slower pace, and I look around and I see what I can find. You know, the intricacies and the nuances in life. They really are everywhere if you just take the time to look at them. So I encourage you to seek out and appreciate the beauty of the natural world over the coming days, and take that as an activity that you can continue moving forward. So the nature journaling prompts that I have for you this week. Number one, take a little bit of time and have a meander in your local park. Or along a canal path, maybe a disused or repurposed, should I say, train line. Take a journal, take a notebook, and just take a little spot when you can, and write about anything that has drawn your attention. You can even sketch it as well. You know, some people, a journal isn't always for just writing words in. You can certainly use a journal to sketch or to doodle, and that's something that I'm not good at, although I am attempting to doodle a little bit more, because it's easier for me to flick back and reflect over some of the pages if there's a doodle of some description in there. So again, as I keep saying, what feels right for you will be right for you. So write, sketch, doodle, whatever it is that helps you to spot that beauty. And also beauty, it doesn't have to be perfection. In fact, there's no such thing as perfect. Beauty can be something that is attractive in a peculiar way. What we perceive to be beauty is always going to be subjective. It's going to be different to each and every one of us. What I might see as beautiful, you might look at and think, oh wow, that's hideous. I don't particularly think that mushrooms look very pretty, but there's a lot of mushroom lovers out there. There's been books written about them and all sorts of things. So I'm not just talking about taking the mushrooms, of course, but viewing them with your eyes. Just whatever beauty means to you. Okay, so number two, find a body of water That can be a lake, a stream, a river, or a canal, a small pond, whatever you have access to. But sit next to a body of water, and what do you see? What is beautiful about what you're looking at, as far as the water is concerned? You'll probably find that it conjures up quite a lot of maybe metaphors, descriptive language, and again, just write what you see, what is beautiful. Number 3, describe how this beauty makes you feel, and how would you define your mood in the moment? And is there anything that you notice that is different between how you feel now and perhaps what you felt before? And number 4, what do the things you've noticed remind you of? So I'll talk about this on another episode because I can't think of the researcher's name at the moment, but there is somebody from the States who is a nature journaler, and he has a process whereby he suggests that people go outside and they notice things and they observe things, but also they ask the question of what it reminds you of. So the things that you're drawn to, the things of beauty that you're drawn to, might actually remind you of something, and that's why you're drawn to them. So see if that prompt encourages you to write anything further. And remember that spending time outdoors in natural environments, and it could be parks, forests, beaches, there's probably going to be a particular environment that you were drawn to more than others. All of these outdoor activities, these environments rejuvenate well-being. They rejuvenate everybody's well-being, regardless of who we are, what we do as a job, where we live. It is fact that outdoors rejuvenates our well-being. So think about how you can engage in more activities like walking, hiking, maybe picnicking, in 2024, and really experience nature, and use it as a break from urban settings. Breathe in the fresh air, enjoy the beauty of the natural surroundings, and see how it improves your general well-being, your mood, and how you feel, your energy levels. So I'd love for you to share with me where you're going to visit next. I'd love to know. Okay, so now we're going to move on to creativity. And I always love anything to do with creativity because I think there's absolutely anything can be applied to creativity. And excuse me, the more that we practice creativity, the more that we feel happier, more content. We feel more energetic. We're more productive. We gain clarity. We have an improved problem solving. There's just so many benefits of practicing creativity, and the more I practice this myself, the more I practice what I preach, the more of these elements that I actually feel. There's less low time, less downtime. I'm more positive. I'm on a sort of higher vibration, and I'm living more in flow than I am out of flow. When I think back to 2023, during that year, I achieved so much, and it's probably the best year of my life to date. And that really was just a result of me trying new things, accepting challenges, pushing myself out of my comfort zone, and yeah, just opening myself up to more creativity, to more possibilities, and not really to sort of shy away from anything new. I was embracing anything that came my way because I knew, even though it might have been uncertain, it might have felt uncomfortable at the time, that on the other side of that, I would embrace the benefits of it. So even as going as far as more confidence, more resilience, more joy, so many benefits. So yeah, being creative for me is being in flow, and a lot of that comes down to just living in the present moment and not trying to claw back the past all the time or pining for the future. That is not reality. Your reality is what you are in right now, what you're experiencing right now. Me talking to you on this podcast, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I another good way to show when you're actually in flow is that time just seems to fly by. So I'm currently looking at my time now, and I'm 18 minutes and 44 seconds. Again, trying to keep this time down for these podcasts, but when I get started, when I start talking, I just I love it. I'm in flow. So the ideas and the conversation just keeps rolling. So I'm having difficulty in actually keeping this time down. So anyway, that is just an example of being in flow. And I think one way to capture this for yourself is to embrace a childlike innocence, and to sort of be your own creator and ignite your own imagination. And we've just had a couple of weeks of Christmas, of the new year, and I really do hope that that time for you, a lot of that time was spent being adventurous and being playful with your family, with your children, with friends, and not just sort of, dare I say, sitting there being passively entertained by the television, but actually engaging in games, going outside, doing physical activities, and just enjoying playtime. And I think as adults, we tend to lose this ability. Well, we don't lose the ability to enjoy playtime and this childlike innocence. But I think with a lot of the social constructs and societal boundaries, we tend to think that we can't act like children and we can't play. And there's some truth to be said, don't be childish, but we can certainly be childlike and have that playful time. So just give you some examples. I've thoroughly enjoyed my family time at home, and my partner's daughter is 8 years old. We've carried out the 3 marker challenge, the 5 marker challenge, the 8 marker challenge, and that's drawing pictures on plain pieces of paper of anything and everything. Maybe we have a theme, maybe we have a colour theme. We've made games. We've made things out of plastic bottles, attaching glitter to them, strings to them, throwing stones in them. We've created houses out of cardboard boxes. There's all sorts of things that are just, stuff that we do when we're sort of between the ages of 4 and 10, that we kind of just seem to grow out of and think that it's no longer relevant to us. But it really is, because it's joyful and it's fun, and you're spending time with people that you love, that make you smile. And that's what I want to encourage you to do for this week's creativity exercise. So your journal prompts for this: grab a pen, pause me if you need to, make some notes if you need to. In fact, I'm going to add these as a PDF again to the show notes. I will aim to do that for every one of these podcasts, so there's always something you can download in your own time and come back to should you need to. So journal prompt for creativity number 1: who are the people in your life that make you feel playful? Number 2, what was the last childlike activity that you engaged in? And how did that make you feel? And describe this activity and how you felt in detail. Keep writing about every aspect of this. Number 3, make a list of the activities that feel like play to you, but you also feel drawn to and you want to do. And ask, why do you think this is? And prompt number 4, circle one of these activities that feels like play and go and do it this next week. I'd love to know what happens. Please do let me know. So that brings us to the end of this 3rd episode in the solo chats. I hope you've been given some inspiration. You've heard a lot of prompts to go ahead with, 12 prompts in fact, to go ahead with and see what you come up with over the next few days. So be brave, be daring, and be adventurous, but do it in your own way. I would love it if you could subscribe to this podcast and leave a review, because that helps other people to find us. And also drop me a comment, because that also helps me to shape how I share some of these insights with you. Maybe there's some things that you would really love to know more about, some journaling techniques that you would love to have, and also some ideas about activities and ways to get outside more. So I will end on another quote, and this is an unknown person excuse me, and that is the greatest project you'll ever work on is you. Thank you very much for listening and enjoy the first few days of January.
Thank you for listening to today's Writing with Purpose podcast. Having conversations with fellow writers or adventure enthusiasts brings two of my biggest loves in life together, writing and nature connection. I've been a copywriter and content creator for 23 years, but my passion is writing for wellbeing, and I'm on a mission to share the benefits that putting pen to paper has for personal wellness with as many people as possible. If you want to learn more about writing for your wellbeing and journaling techniques, please connect with me in my Facebook group, Journaling with Anna.